Trump dance. Hello. Happy middle of the week. I'm here for a stream. So welcome. Okay, a few little scheduling updates, and then I'll glance at the news and slide into the topic. Um, Tomorrow is my Toastmasters. So I'm going to try to start a little bit earlier, and I'll only be able to go for an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. So I'll be on by 7 p.m. Eastern. I will try to start at 6:30 Eastern if I'm able to. But look for me by 7 Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. And then I'll go for hour and a half max. And then Friday I'm off, so I'm going to stream at my old time, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. So it'll be a daytime stream. Saturday, hopefully we get Joe, and that'll also be at the old time, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. So tomorrow by 7, Friday and Saturday at 4. Okay, let me take a look at the news. What did Trump do today? Oh, he's sparring with Zelensky. Another plane, two more planes in Arizona collide in midair. More snow. Virginia, Maryland, Carolinas. That's all I see really, other than all the Trump stuff. Okay, so much for the news. Hey, Jack Slaw. Not much. What's going on with you? You have snow, Joe, over there? Like lots of snow? Is that unusual for where you are? Well, I hope you enjoy it if you like snow, like if it's a rare treat. Um, and stay warm and all that. Try to make the best of it. They said there's more on the way. Okay, I'm gonna read a few tweets actually. This topic started for some reason, I got 2 or 3 tweets around this topic last week, and um, it. I've been wanting to do this for a while because this is something that has come up on these streams in the past. This idea that modern education is just a conspiracy to prepare people for slavery in the work. They need more work. They need slaves for the workforce, and so public education is just indoctrination to prepare people to become corporate slaves, whatever. So let's do two things. We're going to try to understand it, and I'd like to hear from people that think this and give them an opportunity to talk about what was so miserable for them with their educational experience. My education to me was just boring. I checked, like, mentally checked out. It did not catch my attention. They kept teaching the same thing year after year. So I usually had a book with me and I would just read or do my own thing. So I didn't find it oppressive. I found it understimulating and underwhelming. Um, so anyway, here's one of the tweets. This is from a guy named Alexander, Date Psych at Twitter. Occasionally, I see comparisons of schools with prisons. Historically, physical labor has also been compared with slavery. I would like to know how you all envision a better system of work and school. What changes would you like to see, and what would this system look like? He says, consider the average teenager. No skills, little knowledge about the world, but we want them to develop skills as well as broad knowledge about the world. I don't see how this can be achieved outside of the need to study a lot and to work at some initially menial task. Basically, they need the classroom, And classroom is used broadly here. It could be homeschool. And they need to carry shingles up onto a roof. If this is prison and slavery, I don't see what the viable alternative is. And then I have a few more tweets. Okay, this guy says, Baby Gravy 9, Raw Egg Nationalist. You don't need to read Michel Foucault to understand the intimate similarities between the modern prison and the modern school. What's worse is that HBD, that's human biodiversity, fetishists, and people who place overwhelming emphasis on standardized exam results will make the modern school even less tolerable for young people of spirit. I was one of those. Forcing them to submit to crushing boredom and discipline simply for the sake of a piece of paper. This sounds like opposition to credentialism more than school itself. Okay, and then let's look at a few more. Okay, this guy says good grades are a measure of obedience as much as anything else. The current system selects future leaders, he has that in quotes, based on obedience, conformity, and praise seeking behavior. It explains a lot about our politicians and corporate managers. Here's another one. Public schools are prison like. They create conformity and mediocrity. Are you sure they create mediocrity? Or does mediocrity show up? Isn't that the middle of the curve? Is the assumption that people are brilliant geniuses but for school and school is somehow keeping them from exhibiting their natural talents? Homeschool can be free and creative, but its weakness is students can be socially unable to blend in when needed. I went to public school and I still have that. So you need a little of both environments and a balance for the kids. Okay, I think that's and then I talked to the AI a little bit, but I can always bring that up as needed. Hey, our poll, am I your boy? I didn't know we was boys. I thought you didn't like me. And Mike, okay, let's see if you had. Well, why don't you have friends? You, you seem to have plenty of friends online. Can that translate to you? You have friends. You go to board games. You go to trivia night. You limbo. You sent us a picture from that discussion group at the university. There's people you can go and throw snowballs at, or make snow angels. The workforce is who you know, not what you know. Um, I mean, networking can open up opportunities for people, but I still think that employers want people in there that can do the job. So I like, which would be the what you know part. Oh, Axis. Wow. Well, you know what? Let's check. I haven't looked at my numbers in quite some time. Um, Thank you very much. I've been trying to push it too. Well, I'm over 800 and maybe I'll hold. Sometimes I dip. I keep dipping below 8, but we'll see if it stays at 8. Making a group of friends. Well, okay, you make a good point in the sense that there's a social aspect to school. That is your where you encounter other humans your age, your peer group, outside of home, outside of family, maybe outside of church. So it's like your first taste of larger society, and it's with kids more or less your age. So there's the social. That's like your first experiences interacting with the people you're going to be forming a society with. But then there's also the academic educational part, which is more individual, like what you learn. And is people that are anti-school, I've heard things like needing a hall pass to go to the restroom is oppressive, and it's training you to be obedient and all of that. Like I want to talk to someone that had such a horrible experience with needing a hall pass that this is the conclusion it led them to. Because I used to teach, and the hall passes are to account for the kids. You can't just have random kids running the halls and not knowing what they're there for, what class they came out of, etc. So the hall pass has a administrative or regulatory function. And when I was teaching, the kids could just go grab the hall pass when they needed it. They didn't need to ask permission or make a big deal about it, but they had to have a pass when they were out in the hall so that if they got stopped by an administrator, I would be accountable for them. And then, but is the idea that we don't need to reading and writing and math, arithmetic? Like, do is that a good thing? Is knowing how to read a good thing and knowing how to do math a good thing? How else would you do it? Like that guy said, if school is prison and work is slavery, what what alternatives are you wanting or expecting? I don't see how else to do it. So that's kind of what I want to talk about today. I'll drop the link in a second. Um, every teacher is responsible for the kids in their class, under their care, under their charge. And so if you're in the classroom with 30 kids and one of them needs to go to the bathroom, you can't be with that kid and with the other 29 kids at the same time. So the hall pass is a way to claim responsibility for the one kid that's leaving the classroom. It still ties it to your, because most of the hall passes had the teacher's name and the room number. So if somebody needed to know where the kid came from, the information was in the hall pass. Maybe that's what I should make the stream, just the hall pass itself, because I think that would start to illuminate all of the other objections to education. And the AI did have something to say about a hall pass. Let me see. When I asked the AI to kind of break down some of the criticisms for me. Well, let's see, where is it? Okay, yeah, this is how the AI framed it. The structure of school mirrors the 9 to 5 grind. Asking permission to use the bathroom equals dehumanizing micromanagement. How is that dehumanizing? I mean, it's a little bit of micromanagement, but you have to micromanage kids. They're not adults yet. The adults are accountable for them. You can't just let them run all over the school and do what they want. Bell's dictating movement equals the factory model scheduling, and homework equals bringing work home with no boundaries. This can create a deep resentment toward institutions that demand obedience over autonomy. So, what are people expecting from school? Like the autonomy to just show up and do whatever they want? Hey, Helena, what's up? These tweets are Jack. these there's and people on this on these panels have said that. Here, I'll drop the link. We can get the discussion going. Like there are kids that really don't like school or had a very traumatic, horrible experience with it and think that school is intentionally training people to be corporate slaves. And that I don't know what the suggestion is after that. Do away with school, not have school, not try to teach people, just let China and all the other countries win the competition. Like, why would we want a nation full of uneducated people? And never in school did they tell me that my only option was to work a 9 to 5 corporate job. So if they were training me for that, they never mentioned it as what I would be doing when I left school. We did a few things like explored careers and they would show you like a nurse, a teacher, a fireman, doctor, a plane pilot, and you could like start getting interested in what you might want to be when you grow up. But none of that was channeling you into any specific type of career or job structure. Hey, Plasma, what's up? Pulls up a chair on the porch. Yeah, grab one. You're welcome. It's like Cracker Barrel over here. Grab a rocker. There's not fucking options. What options do they want? That's what I'm trying to figure out. If like they want some some alternative, they have things like Montessori school. What's the other one? Sudbury schools. They have alternative schools. So they have homeschooling. So are all of those options doing this like doing the same thing, indoctrinating kids to be corporate slaves? I don't understand the argument. I don't understand the objection to public education. And that's what I'm trying to do. There's plenty of doctors. Plenty of doctors. I where I am there's a teaching hospital, and it's where all the doctors that come out of med school come and do their like they learn there on the patients. And there's just so many of them there all the time coming out, like there's fresh batches constantly circulating through that place. Hey dog, what's up? Yeah, but I'm trying to understand why this is like I know that there's people that hate school and don't trust it and think it's up to something sinister. I'm just trying to understand why they think that. Oh, hang on. So y'all can come. Hang on, I'm doing social media. Okay, I'm back. So yeah, panel's open. If you have anything to add, come on up. Jobs to keep kids in school. I I don't know. I just school was not. I wasn't even. I hated school growing up because it was boring. I stayed out of school every chance I could get. I quit going to school in the seventh grade. They had to put me in a special school just for me to learn. Um, so I wasn't like one of the biggest cheerleaders for public school. I had my own issues with it, but it was not the issues that I'm seeing in these tweets. And I never thought that we shouldn't have school or that it was damaging or hurting the kids somehow. Well, dog, yeah, I've heard that before too. And if that's true, nobody mentioned it in my educational journey through the public schools, and they never talked to us about factories or anything. So if if mine was one of the schools designed to program kids to work in factories, they did a horrible job of it because they never once tried to get us to work in a factory or tell us anything we needed to know about working in a factory. The schools that I was in and the schools that I taught in were the kids were the only reason we were there. The adults were already had their education. We weren't there for ourselves. We were trying to get the kids educated. We were trying to get them learning things, science, math, reading, history. So when they came to us at the beginning of the year, the goal was by the end of the year, when they leave for the summer, they would have more knowledge, more understanding, and be able to think better about the world than they did at the beginning of the year when they first showed up. So if that's not being on the side of kids, what is it? I mean, I'm working a job now. This is my first week, and I mean, it's retail. It's what entry level, you could say. It doesn't feel like slavery. It doesn't feel like, and it also doesn't feel like anything that the public school really set out to prepare me for in any particular or special way. And it's not that hard. Like pretty much anybody could do it. It wouldn't take 12 years of education to do the job that I do. I don't even know what gender is, to tell you the truth. Is it like masculinity and femininity, which are to me personality traits? There's two: masculine, feminine. Even their own flag has two colors. I don't need to know how many genders there are because I don't need to know everybody else's gender. I just need to know their sex. I just need to know who to hit on and who to not hit on or keep from hitting on me. That's it. So if a woman tries to hit on me or somebody with breasts and a vagina tries to hit on me, I can just tell her, oh, don't waste your time. That's the only thing I need to know. And if a guy hits on me, I can just decide to flirt back or let him keep hitting on me or tell him no or whatever. But that's not even gender. That's the only time it ever comes into play in my life. Is so that I can set personal boundaries around who I want to sleep with. I don't need a deep dark journey into your inner psyche for every single person I encounter and know how they identify to themselves. If you have a vagina, you're probably not going to end up in my bed. And if you don't, you might have a chance. That's the only time it applied. That's the only time I ever have to worry about it. All right. Anyways, um, well, I'm gonna keep here. Let me see if the AI has any industrial revolution model of education. It says modern schooling largely follows a structure that dates back to the Prussian education system, which was designed to create obedient citizens and disciplined workers. What kind of citizens do we want? Is that not? Do you not want civilized members of society? Disciplined workers? You want undisciplined workers that don't show up on time and don't do their job well? Like what if not these standards, what standards do the critics of education want? The one size fits all approach. It doesn't teach practical life skills. A little bit of that is valid. It fails to teach essential skills like financial literacy, emotional intelligence, critical thinking, or entrepreneurship. I would have benefited from some financial literacy or entrepreneurship coursework in public school. But we it also taught we had things like home ec and sports. They had driver's ed. They public school. Most people took driver's ed through the public school and got their driver's license through as part of their. I think when you were like a sophomore or a junior, you could sign up for driver's ed. It was part of the school day, and then you got your driver's license. That seems pretty practical. Let's see what Helena thinks. I think she used to be part of the public school system.
Hello?
Hi, can you hear me?
Hi. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah. Uh, Um, I actually didn't teach children. I taught adults. Every once in a while, I got teenagers. But I was in higher ed
Oh,
for the most part. And I went to private school for 12 years, Catholic school. Yeah.
what were they training you? Is there a
Well,
Catholic factory? Did you feel like you were being trained to work in a factory?
no, and for that matter, all the kids who went there, they weren't Catholic,
Oh,
but they just wanted the, I don't know. I mean, I have to say, the teachers were really good. Um, and no, and I can't relate to, unless you're talking about the social engineering into some of the wokey stuff. When I was in school, what they did was they shamed you if you didn't want to go to college, and
the
they wanted
teachers
you to go
would,
to, yeah, yeah, in high school.
like the nuns, or this is a
Well,
Catholic
I
school?
didn't have all nuns. I didn't
Oh,
have, so we're just like, what they call lay people. And no, if you didn't want to go to college, they shamed you. And if you wanted to get like if you wanted to be an electrician or something, it was, they looked their nose down at that. And so they, try to push you into higher ed. And, but those jobs are good jobs. I grew up in the Rust Belt, and my dad was a steel worker. He made a very good living. And I don't know. So they actually push kids into I don't know what people were talking about with that whole thing with like they're trying to create disciplined workers. I'm not really sure what to say about that. I'm like, um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. They could be better on life skills. They probably should at some point teach kids about networking because that's the only real way to get a job these days. But everybody has a lot of people have college degrees now, and sometimes it doesn't help. So I don't know. I don't know. Some of this I can't relate to. Um, but yeah, to be honest, I would get, let's see, the GED program I taught. Sometimes I would get somebody who's like 18, maybe 19, but I also got people who are 60. And
oh.
now the developmental English class I taught, that would, most people were standard, like first year college age. That's true. But
And this was voluntary. These were like adults that were going back on their own to finish
yeah,
their high school. So it's not. Did you get any of them that felt like their early educational experiences were indoctrination or like
no, they
forcing
never
them
used,
to?
no, 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 they never used the word indoctrination. Some people, they got a good job before they graduated high school and it paid good money. And some people, they just don't like school, but they want their GED anyway because they're like, I should have gotten that. And they come back. Sometimes their job demands it. There's some people, they were working for 20 years at a company, and then all of a sudden they'll say, well, if you don't get your GED within the year, we're going to let you go. They just changed the standards. So it's more confusing than, some people think. But yeah, I know some people just don't like school. I didn't always like school.
Yeah, I
I
didn't
didn't,
love. I didn't love school either.
yeah, I mean, some of the things you're not interested in naturally. And I don't know what to say. I didn't feel like I was being brainwashed. Now I don't know what they do now.
But it didn't
Well,
feel like prison either. Like I don't know where this idea that it's
I don't know.
prison or training people to work in a corporate prison the rest of their life comes from.
Well, first, I don't know anybody who works in corporate. Do you?
I have a few friends that work in corporate, and my
I don't
ex
even
was
know what
very
they
corporate.
do. What do they
They
do?
sound boring. Corporate people sound so boring. Like their job sounds so boring.
Yeah, yeah, I've noticed that, but I'm not entirely sure what they do. And the culture, because sometimes I listen to seminars, people who work in corporate, and it's like, Jesus, that was that's worse than where I worked. I don't know. It just seems like a strange work culture, you know. Now, if you're talking about the genderbread man, and all that stuff, I had no exposure to that, of course. And I don't know, teachers shouldn't be messing around with that sort of thing with kids. It's first off, it's none of their business, and kids don't need to be told, what their sexual orientation is because they come to that themselves. It's a personal journey, and but I've had parents tell me, they come home and then, the kid shows them the genderbread man, and it's like, well, you could be any one of these genders. There are 127 of them. And it's like, okay, that's a little weird. That's a little weird. But you know, I wasn't exposed to that sort of thing. But
Yeah, we weren't
yeah,
either. I mean, I don't
yeah,
think we were taught about
no.
gender at all. Like it was just you had male, female.
Yeah, you learn about biology. That's
Yeah, we had
how
biology.
are babies made. Yeah,
And I
that's
remember
it.
in home ec, they would do this thing where they would pair a male and a female up, and they had to raise an egg together. They give them a raw
Oh
egg,
yeah, the egg thing.
and then
Yeah.
if they turned the egg in at the end of the week and it wasn't broken, then they successfully raised the egg. But if it broke, then they failed.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. And I knew some people that tried to cheat by boiling the egg. Um, but I don't know. So, yeah, things are different now. They definitely are. But at the same time, when I was going through school, they look their nose down at like the trades, and they weren't trying to indoctrinate anybody into to being a slave. They were, they were just snobbish about like, well, if you don't go to college, what you want to be poor? It's like, yeah, a lot of people who go to college are poor now. I don't know, then even, but so yeah, I'm not sure. Aside from that gender bullshit and all that, you don't try to politically activate children. That's not your
No,
job
we had
as a teacher.
civics class. I think you took
Sure.
half a year of it wasn't even a whole year. You took half a year of civics, and they taught you like the basics of democracy, the three forms of government,
Yeah.
how laws are made. It was very fact based and
Well, it
practical.
was social studies. That
Yeah,
we
it
called it
was.
social studies.
Yeah, we had that in yeah, I guess it was kind of a social studies for high school because we had social studies in junior high and
Hmm.
grade school, and then when you got to high school, it became civics. You took half a year of civics and half a year of something else. I don't remember the something else,
Yeah.
but it was
Yeah, there's
very neutral. It
variations.
wasn't. They weren't trying to make activists out of us, nor
They
were the
yeah, they weren't
people
trying to make
teaching it
activists out of
activists.
it. Right. Exactly. Um, so maybe that's what they're doing now, but the idea of making slaves, I don't know. I would say there's proof that they're trying to make activists out of kids, and I would say some therapists, they do that as well.
Hmm.
Thanks to postmodernism.
Definitely
In
mental health.
Yeah,
Even medicine, like physical general medicine.
yeah,
I think
yeah.
there's
I
a
mean,
tendency to
well,
toward activist doctors at least, if not patients.
the language they use now in some places, like, do you think I really like being called a uterus haver? I don't like being called that. It's demeaning. It's like, I'm a woman. It's why do you have to call me all? You're using every word, every phrase under the sun, to refer to me when I'm a woman. And stop pretending like you don't know what a man is, and stop pretending like you don't know what a woman
Well,
is.
actually, we did that stream last night with Barney, and some of them were really hard to tell. I've got to say, they have a point there because they had a few
Wh-
Pats in the group, and it could have gone either way.
Oh, well, I mean, I don't know, but when, at the end of the day, you're one or the other.
But
And
you
then
seem like a woman to me. You come across as a woman,
yeah, I'm
female.
a woman. Ask Kitty. Ask Ninja Kitty. Of course I'm a woman.
I
Yeah.
thought Kitty was a woman for the longest time.
No,
It
no,
shocked me to find out
no.
her
I guess
his
people,
gender.
no, I guess people say that because like Kitty's in his handle. And so they're like, Kitty? Oh, no, no, Kitty's not a woman. No, he's a man. I don't know if he's there. I don't know. I can't see
Yeah,
chat right
it,
now.
it had to be the Kitty because if it would have
Yeah, it was
just
the
been
kitty.
Ninja Bonks, I probably would have thought male, like Ninja male. But
Yeah,
I think it was the Kitty.
yeah, the kitty throws people off. No, he's a dude. He's a dude, man. Okay, so anyway, yeah, so, and I don't know. But other than that, I don't know. And I didn't try to activate people politically in any of my classes. Some of the lesser teachers, they would insist on assigning essay questions that were very political. And it's like, look, I just want to know if you can communicate in a way that the reader can understand you. So the topics I chose were more frivolous. I just want to see if you can write. And to be honest with you, when they go for the political stuff, they're being lazy and they're not thinking things through. Like, what do you believe in abortion? Okay, don't ask the students that. First off, I don't want to hear I don't want to hear if you believe it or not. I just need to know that you can write. So I would ask more frivolous questions. And also, well, partially, when I did the GED class anyway, they ask you a really boring question so that you don't get so emotional about it that you lose time because that test is timed. So it's not helping them, you know, and that's something, yeah, think
I
about that
write
on your
better
own
when I'm
time.
emotional about something. I'd be like, give me that pen.
Well, yeah,
If
yeah,
it's
that's a different
boring, I'm
thing
gonna
though.
sit there and have to slog my way through it.
I know, but the GED test is timed, and that is a consideration. And yeah, I mean, yeah, emotion's great when you write, but the people I was dealing with, writing was not a natural talent for them.
Hmm.
So if it is for us, that's one thing, but
It's not for me. I'm a horrible writer. I
it's,
hated writing.
oh, you hated writing.
Yeah, I still do.
Oh,
I'm not a. I'm a talker, not a writer. That's where I get the
you're
AI
talking how
to
to.
help me with my writing. Sometimes I'll
Oh,
upload the chat transcripts into the AI, and I'll get them to shape it into a blog or article or a post.
well, I used to be a writer. One of the papers I wrote I wrote over 700 articles. So I'm a talker and I'm a writer. So yeah.
Yeah, writers are like people people that can cook. I envy that talent, that skill.
Now I'm really bad at math.
Oh,
Really bad.
well,
Yeah, I'm really bad at math. But
see, there you go. I could do your math for you, and
yeah, you could do my math
you
for
could
me.
do the
Sure.
writing.
Yeah.
We would have gotten along at high school.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, we could have exchanged talents there, math for writing. Yes. But I don't know. But yeah, did you like teaching?
I did. I loved it. Yeah, it was one of my
And
favorite
what age
jobs.
group
It
did you
didn't even feel
teach?
like work. Mostly middle school, and then eventually I gravitated to special ed.
Oh, okay. Did you study special ed in
Mm-mm. No, I
college or
just lived
something?
it. it's
Oh,
I
from
was I was
experience.
really good at it, and they could see that, and the kids responded to me
Oh,
very well. So they
okay.
kept putting me in the special ed classrooms. But I love it, and I would
Okay.
rather have me there than some teacher that didn't know what they were doing.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. So that making children factory workers, I think that's a really outdated concept. The political active, politically activating them, I know they try to sneak that in there in some cases. That's a different thing though. Um, because I know some parents who have kids in middle school and whatnot. So
Do you so if he gets rid of the Department of Education like he's talking about, are you
uh-huh.
supportive of that?
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I didn't I'm not even sure what that would mean. So if he gets rid of the Department of Education, that would mean what?
Yeah, I don't know either.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what that would mean.
Like it's not like people would just suddenly stop. We would stop having school. There'd
Well,
still be
yeah, they're
schools
not
and
going to shut down
teachers, and the kids
schools.
would still go every morning.
Yeah, so I'd have to do
Dog,
a
the
deep
Pledge
dive
of
on that.
Allegiance. Are you serious? That took like 10 seconds. We nobody took it serious. We slept through it. They're like, stand up, say the pledge, pledge allegiance to the flag, and then they'd make the announcements over the loudspeaker. How is that even an issue? Somebody that can't do 10 seconds of pledge. And yes, you have to ask permission. What's the problem with having to ask permission to do something in the middle of class when the teacher's trying to teach and everybody's trying to learn and somebody just randomly gets up and starts doing something? What's the problem with having them ask to do whatever it is they're trying to do?
Yeah, yeah, he would have hated my school. Um, I don't know. I thought it was fun though that we did every in Catholic school we did every High Holy Day. So we would go out of class and attend like a mass or something.
Oh right, y'all had church at school.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And didn't
yeah. It
wasn't
was yeah.
religion one of the required classes?
Oh yeah, we took lots of them. Yeah, the ones in middle school I don't remember too well. They just went over my head. But in high school we had cool classes. It was like we had eschatology. You know what eschatology is?
Yes, the end of the world.
The end times, study of the end times. And it wasn't just about that. It was about hypothetical theological things that might not exist. And at no time, at no time were we required to believe in angels or demons or that sort of thing. But no, I'm one of the people. I have a very positive experience of Catholic school, and my teachers were very educated. My
Hmm.
favorite teacher, he was a Franciscan monk, and he was a trained biologist. He was also fluent in Russian.
Did y'all have
Um,
Latin? Did you have to take Latin?
no, that's before my time.
Oh.
We had a little. Somebody taught us a song in Latin once, but that's it. So it wasn't required. No, that's before my time. Yeah,
Yeah, the Catholic school where I came from, it had the best education. Everybody was trying to get
yeah.
their kids into Catholic
Oh
school,
yeah,
even if they weren't Catholic. They had Jewish people, they had
yeah,
secular people. They they went for the education.
yeah. We had Baptist, Hindus, um, lots of people who weren't Catholic, and they were happy to take them, but they wanted the teachers because when you not there a lot of the people were lay people. They started to drop off in numbers when I entered school, but the thing about like if you get like a priest or a nun or whatever, if you enter an order, they'll send you to college forever. You can collect like degrees forever. They'll pay for them, you know, the diocese or whatever. But so yeah, yeah, the education was pretty good. And nobody taught us to be, not believe in evolution and to hate other religion. No, it didn't happen. Maybe my experience was like very particular to me, but no, yeah, no, I liked it. It was fun. And also sometimes when you're taught formally in some type of faith, you grow up and you know what you don't believe in, and it makes you really good at defining your terms,
Yeah.
you know. So,
Did you have any thoughts of entering a convent at any point?
no,
Did you feel like they were training you to be a nun?
no, no. No, I did not. No, that no, they didn't do that. Where I was anyway. They like, oh, don't you want to be a nun? Oh, come on, think about it. You want to be a nun? No, nobody ever said that to
What's a nun? Is that a gender? A nun gender?
me. Yeah.
What's under that habit?
Huh. Yeah, I don't know. And people have weird associations with. I was watching a movie the other day. There's a nun in it. There was a nun in it, and like one of the guys in chat, they kept saying weird things about the nun. It's like, I don't know, is this a Madonna whore thing? What's going on here? Yeah, I can't help it. I'm a straight, boring straight woman, and like it's like I don't know all the hangups that men have. But some men, if they like eroticize nuns, it's like, oh God, whatever. But yeah, okay. Little aside there, sorry. Sorry.
Yeah, the Esalen. We tried. Machine Lies tried to show a video on it one day. They had lesbian nuns, and his stream got shut off just when he got to that part.
Huh. Well, what was it erotica or something? Or what?
I don't remember. They were just starting to show him, and then he got cut off for copyright violation. It was some
Oh,
documentary about Esalen, and they were just at the part where they were bringing in the lesbian nuns.
bring in the lesbian nuns. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, but yeah, nuns, I don't know. I don't know. I always respected them, but I didn't go to school at a time when they were allowed to hit us. Um, some people they say, "Oh, they hit us," and I don't know. They weren't allowed to do that when I was in school. So, you know, but people
I'm
stopped being, you know.
I'm just trying to imagine grown. Okay, you're an adult. You're 30, 40, 50 years old, and you lay in bed at night and you think back to when you had to ask for a hall pass to use the restroom. And that's your childhood trauma.
Yeah, yeah. As you can hear, I find that amusing. Yeah, well, as far as children go, yeah, you needed a hall pass. So what? Um,
Or you had to
so I
say the
taught,
pledge. You didn't even have nobody forced us to say the pledge ever. They had a moment where we all stood up, we put our hands on our chest, and we
yeah,
mumbled the pledge, but nobody cared if you actually said it. Nobody monitored you to hear to see
yeah,
if you said it. Nobody forced you to say it. It
yeah.
was
Nobody
just an empty
interrogated.
ritual.
Yeah, and nobody interrogated you to make sure that you really believed in it or anything
Yeah.
like that. Yeah, so
So I don't know what their case against any of this is. Yeah, Joe, you make a good point. I did the same thing. You can go to the restroom between classes. It's only like 50 minutes to wait. But every one of my, I was never ever refused the restroom. Every one of my teachers, if you needed the restroom, they let you go to the restroom. It was never a big deal.
yeah,
You just had to grab a hall pass. That's it.
yeah,
And
yeah,
sometimes if they didn't
yeah,
have a hall pass, they would give you like something from their classroom that was tied, like their
yeah, yeah. One time
yardstick
somebody,
with their name on it or one of their textbooks or something to show that you were from that classroom and you had their permission to
yeah,
be out in the hall.
one time somebody gave me a doorstop.
Yeah, stuff. Yeah,
That was in middle school though, you know. It's like, oh, here. And she just handed me a doorstop. I'm like, okay. It's
yeah.
yeah.
It just showed that an adult knew where you were. Like you weren't cutting class. An adult knew that you were out of the class and that you had their permission.
Hmm. Now, when I got into high school, um, I got braces, and every once in a while, the doctor has to tighten them.
Yeah. Oh,
And
I
so,
had them too. I remember that.
yeah, yeah, this was in high school, and I did enjoy. Every once in a while, I would write my own permission slip to leave class early, and I would sign my dad's name. and I always got away with it. I got away with it every single time. And I wouldn't do anything bad. I would just I could drive at that point. And what I would do is I'd go to the mall, the local mall, and I would just window shop. But there was something about it. It just I just like the idea that I got something over on them. But I don't know what that is. I have a lot of trickster in me.
Did you
A
get
lot of
your braces tightened as well, or you did
oh
it
yeah,
on the
yeah.
day of
So yeah, I
school?
went to the appointments, but they never really questioned how often. So like I'd get like I'd actually go to an appointment the week before, and then the next week I'd write like one of those fake permission slips, and they never questioned it, you know. So, but I just enjoyed fooling them. I don't know. I don't psychologically I don't know what that means about me, but you
Maybe
know.
that's part of it. Like even you had that little streak where you had to have some kind of sense of power over that system.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe, but I didn't do anything. I I don't know. It was just the idea. It's like I'm fooling you, ha ha. I felt like a trickster. You know, I don't know. I
I
don't know if no.
I just never care. I never took them seriously enough to even have to. If I didn't want to go to school, I just didn't go to school. I didn't have to fake a slip. I didn't care if I needed a permission slip or not. I wouldn't turn anything in. If they wanted to
Did you
mark
play
me,
sick?
they could just mark me. Yeah, I played sick constantly.
Oh,
They
okay.
wanted to expel me. I missed like 21 days.
Yeah, they call. Yeah, they'll call if you miss enough classes.
Yeah, they eventually called. It took them like two report card periods to figure it out because it was around
Jeez.
the holidays.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I
I
just quit
don't know.
going.
I don't. No, you know what? I think I had some kind of I got some kind of thrill using their rules to fool them. But that's like my own thing. I don't think that has anything to do with
Because you bought into
me.
their rules to begin with, so it had some kind of meaning.
Yeah,
And I didn't care about that. I didn't even care about their rules to begin with. I'm just like, I'm not doing that. I'm doing my own thing.
yeah. I don't know. I guess yeah. I like taking their rules and like going, oh, okay, is that how you like it? All right, then I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna fool you. And for some reason, that gave me some kind of I don't know. It was like a thrill or a joy or something.
Wow,
Um,
you're even more of a rebel than I am. That's
oh, well, I don't know.
Satan would be so proud.
Well, my namesake, I always consider her a trickster.
Oh.
Is she? No, she was a bona fide con woman. So I don't know. There's something there, but if you oh, you know what? If you want to know anything about her, the best thing to listen to, no book really does her justice. There's this pod. It's called The Last Podcast on the Left, and they have like this series on her in three parts, and she's really interesting. It Very strange life. She was an aristocrat. A lot of the stuff she had to do, it had to be fake as hell. And but I'm like, I admire that she pulled some of this stuff off. And so I see her as like a old timey Billy Ocean. And some people don't. They take her super ultra seriously, but that's how I think of her.
So you think she was a grifter? She was just bullshitting the whole thing.
I think you know what I think she could be. I think you can be real about some things, but I think you can be a grifter. Like I think spiritually she believed in some of that stuff, but she was obviously grifting about some other things. I think she was both. I mean, maybe I think that's possible. What do you think?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know much about it. I don't take any of that stuff seriously. So I never know if they believe it or if they're just
Yeah,
like you never know.
yeah. Some of her seances she
Because
she
people
pulled
are
off. Oh,
crazy enough to believe crazy things and take them seriously, and people are also cunning enough to pretend to believe crazy things and take them seriously. to gain an advantage
Yeah.
over other people. And I don't know how to tell which was which.
No, she was never in a money scandal. She never, she never when she founded, Theosophy, she there was never ever like a money scandal or anything like that. So some people really believed, and all she did really, she just pasted together um a lot of things from Eastern religion. And somebody the other day, they were browbeating me about how she talked about races and everything. And it's like, I didn't want to, at that time, I didn't want to get into it, but she was alive during Darwin, Charles Darwin. And at that time, a lot of people were influenced by him and they overemphasized physiological differences or physical characteristics to the point where it was like, okay, yeah, it's called gene pools. They're gene pools. Some people look like this, some people look like that because they come from this gene pool. And they were ragging on me like, oh yeah, how do you, speak to that? She was from a different. She was doing. I don't know. She was doing her own thing. Charles Darwin, he was like everything, at that time, and she just incorporated it into her work. But whatever. I don't know. So, and I don't believe in theosophy. So I don't believe in reincarnation. I hope not. Sounds exhausting.
Oh God, no, yeah, I don't want to come back.
Yeah, it sounds exhausting.
Especially as a bug or something.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, it sounds exhausting. It's like, no, I don't have to keep coming back. It's okay. You you want to shut the lights out? That's fine. It's so yeah, I feel the same way. Uh, I have to get going. So I have
Okay, well,
another.
thanks for coming up and sharing your educational experience and your thoughts.
Well, well, for what it's worth.
I think it was worth
Um,
a lot. It was very
oh,
helpful.
how kind. Okay, well, you have a good evening.
You too, Helena, and we'll see
Okay,
you again.
okay, bye.
Take care. Okay, well, we got one perspective, and not a public school one. She went to a fancy private school where they look down on the trades. But that is a trend that I'm hearing about. Is they're phasing out trade, the what is it, the VOTEC classes. It's getting harder and harder for non higher education options, pathways, apprenticeships, things like that. But if that's all slavery, why, like, isn't that a good thing? I don't know. Is not getting an education and just going into a trade more slavery than getting an education and going to college and working a corporate job? I don't understand any of it. None of it seems like slavery to me if you look at actual slavery. And plus, at school we had pep rallies, we had dances, we had all kind of things we could get out of class. They like it, I don't know. I don't imagine slaves living that way. None of us were forced to get jobs. Nobody in school ever. If every some of the kids, especially the ones with driver's licenses, whose parents can afford like a used car for them or something, had after school jobs. But most kids didn't even have after school jobs, and nobody pressured us into having after school jobs. Basically, the teachers in my generation were concerned that you show up at school. They wanted a body in a classroom that they could teach, and that you were prepared for test on the days we had test, and that you turned in your assignments. That's it. And that you didn't stick around for too long. They wanted you to graduate to the next grade so that they wouldn't have to reteach you. So I don't know how any of that was preparation for any kind of prison or slavery. It was a pretty good life, actually. So I was hoping to hear from other people that do feel this way, but we may not get. They're out there in the panel. They're definitely out. They're definitely on YouTube because they showed up on this stream before and other streams. but I guess they're not lurking around mine today. All right. Well, what time is it? I've gone an hour. If y'all want to keep the panel going, come on up. Otherwise, I think I'm gonna wind it down. And as I said, oh Joe, by the way, you were gonna be out Saturday, right? At the usual time, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Central. And if you have a topic, let me know. Otherwise, I'll try to think of one. And tomorrow, I'm gonna be out around this time, but I'll try to do it a little early because I can only go for about an hour, hour and a half. And then Friday, I will be on at the daytime time, the 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Central. And I have a topic I want to do. If I don't do it tomorrow, I'll do it Friday. I may save it for Friday on some ancient Greek stuff. That's some parallels between it. It's from that book I was reading, and there's so many things. This one, the Greeks and the irrational. It talks about the times of Plato and Aristotle, and when rationalism is first emerging out of irrationalism, or what I would call non-rationalism or pre-rationalism. So it talks a lot about Plato and Aristotle and some of their beliefs and their ideas and their projects. And so I had a little passage from there that I thought was interesting that I want to share. And then Joe and I will be out Saturday. Yeah, Bex, I could do that. You want to do that? All right. I'm calling it. I'm going to wrap up the stream. And Bex and I are going to go get some TV time in. So, that's it for today. Thanks for being here. I'll be out tomorrow, like I said. S- Same time, maybe 6:30 Eastern-ish. 3:30 Pacific. Is that right? Yeah, tomorrow. And then Friday and Saturday it will be middle of the day. Yeah, we'll be in Discord watching something. Okay, give me like 5-10 minutes and I'll join you there. And everyone else, great to see you. Thanks for stopping by. If you didn't catch the stream I did with Barney, here, let me drop it. Midlife Bro Logic last night on the trans, vegan, AI, anarch, death cult. We had a good time. So I'll drop that link. And that'll be it for me. Ooh, hang on. That doesn't look right. Hang on. All right, there's the real link. Yeah, and if you need an invite to the Discord, just find me at Gen X Jeff. That's my Discord name. And I can email you one. I mean, DM you one. Just DM me there, and I'll send you a link. All right, I'm out. Take care, everybody. See you tomorrow. Don't go to real prison. Stay in school. Stay out of real prison. Don't be a slave. You can do better than that. You're limiting. That's a I don't want to phrase it. A self-imposed limitation that you're putting on yourself through this weird belief that school and education is prison slavery. So cut that nonsense out and do something with yourself. Hell, see. Take care.